to jump right in, and I wanted to welcome all of you this evening. This is our fourth meeting, actually, of the Strategic Planning Committee, and it's wonderful to see so many of you back this evening. And this is actually a very important meeting for us, because this is where we put all of our ideas into action. And I'm going to explain the process in a few minutes, but before I do, I'd like Margaret Bongiorno to come up and say a few words. And Margaret is our Vice President of the school.
Thank you. I too want to welcome you all. This is so important to us. This has been an initiative that the board has been 100% behind, and we're so glad that it's still going strong and you're still helping us. I want to take a minute to just introduce the members of the board that are here this evening. Right over here behind you is Frank Delusion. There he is. And then there's Sue Nadar over there. And we have Anthony Fasano right here. So we've got a nice representation. So thank you. I'm not going to take a lot of your time. Let's just keep it going. Thank you.
Good. And I do want to just comment that it's so important to have the Board of Education initiate this process and also support the process since we began. Having their support certainly makes my job a lot easier. I want to also thank all of our administrators that are here this evening, and I want to thank Gina for organizing this evening, and also Liz. And Liz's son, unfortunately, had a problem over the weekend. He broke his arm. And so playing hockey. So he's been well taken care of by his mother, but Dad is at home taking care. So Liz has joined us for this evening, which is commendable. So I thank you. I wanted to just read something to you, and this is a quote that we actually started our budget presentation with, and it says that the strategic action plan is to improve the overall performance of students, to meet state performance benchmarks, to engage the community and parents in building a new HPACon, to provide teachers and principals with the professional development, to improve student performance and the quality of education in our school district. And that is a beautiful vision. And that is the vision that was actually put forward to our commissioner with what we call the tentative budget, which was submitted last week. And when we are preparing a budget, just as an aside, you should know that we have to include all of our endeavors. And many of the plans that we have discussed throughout our last 3 meetings and will be discussing tonight were included in that budget. So in front of you this evening, you have your work, and your work is outlined in the goals. So this is the product of our 3 meetings. The first goal is that all HPACon Township students will perform on or above proficiency levels. We're going to work closely with our parents. We're going to use technology to enhance communication, implement PowerSchool district-wide, and so that you know, PowerSchool is a system that we use to track student progress, attendance, report cards, etc. And right now, I believe that we have it at the high school and middle school level, and we're going to expand that next year to the elementary level. We're going to assure that all students are reading at or above grade level by grade 3. And one of the most important actions that the Board of Education took at its last meeting was to approve all-day kindergarten. Yes. And I want to applaud their efforts, because if we are going to reach our goal, which is to have all our students performing on grade level by grade 3, it has to begin in full-day kindergarten. So it's a blessing to our children. We're so excited about it. I want to thank Tracy Hens and her staff for actually piloting a wonderful kindergarten program this year, which in essence was the impetus for all of us to begin to plan for next year and for our board to support our efforts. We want to also create some after-school programs. So this evening, I'm going to ask you to use your imaginations and to think about what could those after-school programs look like. And of course, SAT scores. And let me tell you a little bit about why SAT scores are so important. Because believe it or not, we are measured in New Jersey Monthly, which is reported every other year, as to how we are doing on our SATs. And quite frankly, that is where we get our statewide ranking. So we have to just continue to make efforts to improve in that area. And of course, we want to get all of our students ready for college and careers, and that is ultimately the goal of the Common Core standards. And it's the goal of any good educational program. So now if we look at goal 2, this is what you identified. That we're going to create a safe, secure, open environment conducive to academic achievement for the whole child. So in the Hopatcong School District, we do not only look at students' academics, but we look at a very important component, which is their social, emotional learning and their social, emotional welfare. How are they doing? How are they feeling? How are we interacting? Are they comfortable in their learning environment? Is the learning environment a positive environment? And all of that affects learning. So this evening, I'm going to ask you to think a little bit about that. And then let's look at goal area 3, communication and community partnerships. And one of the things that our board did was to develop its own public relations committee. And I wanted to just commend AJ for his leadership, and he's directing that, and he's helping us to expand our public relations. And this is something that I'm going to ask you to think about this evening. What is it that you think that we can do as administration and as a board to create more opportunities for outreach and more opportunities for parents and the community to want to become involved? So that is really the goal. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to really think out of the box. To prepare for this evening, what we did was we created a chart, and you have it in your hands, and you're going to see that each goal is actually articulated, goals 1, 2, and 3, and then underneath each goal there is an objective and major activities. Now, a lot of the objectives and a lot of the activities were suggested by you, and many of the objectives and activities are already in place in our school district. We have also identified the staff that's responsible for carrying out all of these activities, any resources and documents that might be needed to support these activities and moving forward, and of course a timeline, when it is that we're going to begin and when it is that we're going to end. So what we're really going to do for the rest of the evening is we're going to break into small groups. We're going to break into 3 separate committees. And when we go into committees, what I'm going to ask the committee facilitator to do is to just review all of the objectives and activities, and then to give you the opportunity to expand upon these or to change them. This is your opportunity to dream, to think out of the box, and to be as creative as you possibly can be so that together we can move our district forward. So at this time, I'm going to ask Sumita, Dr. Koppel, to please take anybody who's interested in working on student achievement and technology to room 206. School climate and culture is with Tammy Miller in 208. And communication and community is in room 211.
I had Chatham parents call me and ask about our full-day kindergarten. I said, oh, go to our YouTube account, and you can see the video of when the presentation happened at the board meeting. We communicate the district goals. They're on our website. Social media promotion at board meetings. We tweet out and make Facebook posts to those. At the last strategic planning meeting, people had said that they wanted an option for 7th graders to attend the 8th grade orientation to promote the retention in our district. And our Faculty Night Live event is a wonderful event where teachers at the high school present. So that was kind of some ideas that we're already, or some strategies we're already using to increase our public image. Is there anything we forgot, or that you would like to add, or decrease, or?
Do you have use of that new, maybe it's about a year old now, graphic board that's out in front of Borough Hall on the corner?
That one, we don't have access to that, that's a town one.
Right, but I mean, couldn't school events and activities?
I could ask, I don't know, I think because we have our own at the Lakeside Boulevard, I know we're trying to get funding to have a digital billboard. That is something we're working on, but we could certainly ask, I don't have a pen, let me just write it, oh, thank you.
You mentioned something else, and the Lakeside Boulevard and something else, I just assumed that was the one you were talking about.
No,
What's
the
other one?
Lakeside Boulevard sign is by
No, I know that one,
Okay.
you said that
The-
and something
the
else.
town alert
Oh.
one,
That's
the
what I'm
town
trying
one,
to
like the town sign. We're trying to get
Oh,
funding.
so the one right next to the new one, the one on the corner.
I'm talking about the one at Borough Hall.
The
right?
one-
But there's two at Borough Hall now, one's active and lighted.
Oh, and
No,
what's
you're
the
talking
clock
about
on
the
the
clock.
corner?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the one you're talking about, is the clock, is that it?
No, I'm talking
No,
about
no, I
the-
didn't have the Lakeside Boulevard sign, like the school only has the one that's on, by the senior center.
Okay.
That's
I thought
the
you
only
mentioned- I thought you
sign
mentioned
that's
something
That's-
else,
that's lit
and
with
I
what-
assumed it was
light?
the one that.
Right.
we would
Correct.
like to, we would like to
Right.
eventually get a digital billboard,
Wish
but
I had
it's,
money to
it's
donate.
a lot of money, but that's what we would like to
has
go
reached
to.
out to several places to
Um,
see about getting funding.
Santander Bank, McNear, what was the other one?
Weldon,
Weldon, any place we could, just, there's, it's a lot of money, so, so. Anyone, any comments on that first block? Okay. Go
The
ahead.
only thing is just making sure that people, how do you advertise your advertising, you know what I mean? That's the catch-22, is if people aren't looking for that information, how do you make that
Right.
known? And that's always the biggest
Right, I
concern.
think, I think, we're doing everything we can via technology, maybe getting more posters throughout the town businesses was something that was brought up, so maybe we can try that avenue as another layer.
Just under the staffing, is there any reason why it's closed to the school board and school administration and not open to parent volunteers?
What do you mean, what's,
Under
next-
your
the
major
next-
activities, the staff that's responsible for the major activity?
oh, no, I could add parents in there. Yeah, absolutely. This is why we have you.
I know Mr. Nate would love to sign up for that.
Mr. Denny's not even on Facebook, but I think I need to change that.
Actually, yeah. Well, actually, the kids are on Twitter, the parents are on
Right,
Facebook.
I know.
Yeah. So.
Is this all in the school newsletters? Like we send home the monthly newsletters, or like the first day of school when they get all their paperwork, where they can find everything that they might need through the school year?
You know what, we this year created a back page for our press releases and Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, it is in.
It is in there, it's usually the last page of every K-8 newsletter.
Okay.
There's a little, like, 3 little icons, Twitter, Facebook, and the press releases.
I can look at it. I don't think I have any newsletters. Didn't you say one?
I think you get them once a month, right?
Yeah, they go once a month, like around the 10th of the month.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, I haven't seen a newsletter in a while, not because they don't come out, but because I don't see them. But I would assume that most parents don't get them until, the last minute, if ever, they're stuck at the bottom of a bag. You asked us to think outside the box. Is there something you could put on the bottom of the newsletter that says, contact us to get this or something? The first 100 people get, I don't know, something stupid, obviously, you're not gonna be giving something good away, but to see how many people actually get a newsletter and read them.
Right.
I mean, my wife is a kindergarten teacher, so the newsletters that don't get read from her perspective, the percentage is huge.
Right, do you think online would be a better avenue, or no?
Absolutely.
Depends on the people,
Even an
I
email
think so,
first.
yeah, but I don't know how that happens.
Because you don't have to send the actual newsletter by email.
You send the
post it
PDF.
online and send a link,
Yeah.
and every child that's registered, get the parents' emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, parents would love to have a digital backpack. I can't tell you how many times a week I have a discussion with a parent and they want a digital backpack.
Okay.
Because they either have 5 kids and they're getting 5 of everything and throwing it away, or they have older kids and they're getting nothing and have no idea what's going on.
Okay, that's actually very good feedback, because I had heard it was the exact opposite. That maybe some really still wanted that hard
Well, I'm
copy.
sure there are a few that want a hard copy,
Okay, well, we-
absolutely, but I think we could give the option in the beginning of the year, they could sign up and say, well, I would rather get
Right.
hard copies, and then the secretaries would have the list, the teacher would know who gets it. So then they only have to make X amount of copies, and we're not making 900 copies of
Correct.
everything.
I like that.
Because that saves
Okay.
a lot of money too.
Okay,
Well, even like for this meeting, like I think the email came out like Thursday or Friday last week, or at least that's when I got to read it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I check my email probably every day, every other day, but you know, there's always those few days sometimes just
Did
screw up. But that's what, I was like, ooh, that meeting's coming up, you know what I
did you
mean?
get our
So-
voice too, our voice alert? Are you signed up for voice alert?
I am, but I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm not sure on that one, but I definitely got the email.
Good, perfect,
Yeah,
perfect.
I got the voicemail yesterday, totally forgot about it.
Good.
And then at 6:45, my phone said I had something, I looked at my phone, was like, oh my gosh.
Just
reminding you.
Phones ring for those, like, you know, like when there's the day off, you know, when there was the snow days and
Right.
stuff, like, there's 5 phones that ring, it's.
Right, right, in an emergent situation, everyone rings, but in like just a regular outreach, it only goes to the home phone.
Right.
That's how the program works, it pulls the home phone at
Alright.
Power School, and it'll only send to that.
Which means, because I didn't get home till 9 o'clock last night, somebody else heard it and click. Alright, so I probably got it.
Well, yesterday,
You know
both
it.
phones rang at the same time.
Yes, yeah.
That's not for me.
Okay, the next one for increased student outreach. I'm not sure if some of you are familiar with, the New Jersey Department of Ed has what's called a climate and culture survey. You actually survey students, staff, parents, and residents. It's a very big undertaking. We were thinking we could do it this year, but with Liz and I, we just felt it wasn't the right time, but we're hoping to do it at the end of June. Then we were thinking, well, maybe the beginning of September. So do you guys have any feedback about when parents would?
Both times are too busy, end of June is graduation.
I know,
think
so-
maybe the beginning of
Or
June.
beginning of September is back to school and all the
Right,
nuttiness that goes along with that.
yeah.
Beginning of June?
Yeah, only because if you do it in September, the kids haven't been in the classroom long enough to get acclimated and really know how they feel. If you ask them in the beginning of June, they can answer the questions, you have time to process it.
Right,
And
based
then
on
prepare
this
for
year.
the
Yes.
next
Right,
year.
Right,
Okay.
so it's based on their full year in the
Yes.
Yeah.
classroom,
Okay, okay.
and it's
Um,
fresh.
Yeah, all right, we can do that, good. We are going to be submitting a school choice application, and it is for the, just to become a school of choice for the 2015-16 school year, because 14-15 is done. So that's something we're doing to increase our student outreach. We have partnered with the Department of Education, William Patterson, Jersey City University, and Sussex County Community College to offer college credit to our kids taking these classes here. That's like a tongue twister, isn't it? CCC. So that's something we've done to outreach.
Do you want me to write those things on the board?
Sure, that'd be great, because she has very good
Are we
handwriting.
supposed to be like sharing
Well,
those
yeah, I
later?
think we should just be, general.
Let's see how good it is without lines.
I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
I thought I heard somewhere that the choice funding was going away, or it changed, or,
Yeah, there was back in, I think it was October, I think Lenape's board meeting or Byram's board meeting, that was discussed. I have not seen anything official yet,
okay.
so.
Isn't that's why there were people saying that Sparta backed out?
Yeah,
Sparta was looking into it and backed out because they weren't getting
right.
funding.
I think Sparta backed out, they couldn't do it this year, they also backed out of full-day kindergarten because they would have to do an entire restructure of where they house all their grade levels, so there might have been another reason.
There was a really good article in the Herald today about why Sparta did that, is because they're trying to realign all of their schools and all of their grades at this point, to maybe one day do the full day kindergarten, maybe the school choice. But as right now, there hasn't been anything discussed in the state legislature about the school choice funding. I'm
Oh,
waiting,
okay,
but there's nothing yet, so,
okay,
but why I'm waiting, but nothing.
okay, thanks.
So, anything else there? Okay. Increased communication to the community at large. One of the things that I started was the return of the graduates assembly, which is when graduates come back to the high school and talk to the seniors. It's such a great program. I did it at my previous school, so this is the second year we've done it, Liz, right? It's just wonderful. We love it. I think the seniors are so good. They love listening to the previous graduates talk about, you know, who's at a 2-year school, who's at a 4-year school, who's, you know, commuting, who hates their roommate. So, also within our newsletter, we're trying to highlight an alum at the back of every newsletter. We've only had one edition so far. We're gonna come out with another one. So, but
It's in the beginning stages.
but actually on our district website, can't they
Yes, anyone who's an alumni can click
submit?
on.
You can click on it and submit your profile.
Submit
I'm
a
an alum,
bio of
so I'm
yourself.
yeah.
in the category, that's what we would really like to help our thinking.
Right.
And then if there's something new to add on to that. So since we're all kind of in rows, Noreen, I'm gonna ask you to kind of lead maybe this row into a conversation. You can take anything at this point. You can just maybe a little group here.
But what if you take so far PSATs?
They're just doing SATs and college. The percentages are going to college and careers.
So whether it be like
This
Yeah,
tutoring, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but
I think
that's
Yes,
Yeah, it's been going on all day.
Are they successful? Like, are a lot of people showing up?
I would think so,
I'm
yeah.
gonna give you one. And if you
So ours is, hi guys.
The fourth one here, use of technology.
Any ideas? Do you want to do it? So it's going to be all right. Professional development.
Using technology, and we go all in all these areas.
Technology.
Well, I did.
Pretty,
Come on. Reading and writing.
yeah.
So they already did all
Let's do that.
This is
what they're going
through.
Yeah, they did.
So we have this coming in, okay. So we're gonna kind of run through our students are reading We're
Okay, I feel like I can contribute to that one more.
Yes, it
There might be more room.
Established K-5
You guys want
Right now, everything after
Although I'm
school
just saying that because I feel.
There's really nothing.
Do they call it
about-
That's hard.
Like, and I know that would be like that.
Exactly. The budget got cut, so we're focused on, and in the high school, we cut some freshmen. So sports wise, I wanted to just expand it.
Yes, yeah.
You said you had two. So you're saying there may be more guidance about.
Does this include,
Yes, I
I think the Yeah, we have that.
So I think that was one of the only things they had still help improve the middle school. But we want to add that.
What do you mean?
Like, what do you feel like?
Oh, yeah, maybe, yeah.
Oh, it would be like not mentioned, yes.
But I mean, I'm talking about.
Everything is moving.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I want you to be able to teach
Or have my
today.
Or actually have some.
Thursday plus for SAT. They trust her, yeah.
Generally, yeah, like it's a different example.
Well,
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
and what's not gonna work is
You're
like,
I
get
A
it.
lot of those things are handled through our high school, because it's usually our high school students that are
I think
obviously
it's
the ones that
almost
are
the same.
capable.
My point is simply, what is there that impacts the community, that the community knows that this school system does this and interacts with the community. I don't know what this is.
Now, excellent
It's an
question. I
identifier.
don't know if
Well, a
they
lot
do
of these
this
things that
at-
we said, they're sent through the internet
The alert
source
now.
now. We have it posted on our
bulletin board.
websites so that they can go to the school website. There's a community-based.
Correspondence and links
area
on
there.
doors, sign.
We try to publicize it to all the kids, you know, we announce it every meeting. We have, so that, 700 kids are getting that message, they take it home, give it to their parents, and hopefully spread it that way. So, we do put it out there, but I can't say we've reached everyone. So it is out there, maybe it needs to be more.
Yeah.
We're talking about an identification, like a corporate logo.
Oh yeah, we don't have a logo or anything
Well,
like that.
I'm not suggesting a logo, but I'm saying, if you see the logo, you think
You know about it, right?
Would you
Nike or whatever.
Would you suggest me listing enhancement of community outreach, perhaps, and then we need to, come up with different ways of how we could enhance that, perhaps to get to those, like flyers at the senior center.
Yes.
I don't know, like flyers at 301 Deli, all of those kinds of things.
That's a good idea.
We're always concerned, one, that we provide
Something.
the service,
Mm-hmm.
and that the community or those who might avail themselves of it know that we provide it. I spend much of my time at the food pantry. And it's disconcerting at times because there's a large number of people who need help.
Right.
It is rewarding to know that we're able to give it. Well, somehow or other, that word was, people would not turn to us if they hadn't heard of it somewhere. There was an identification somewhere. And that's, and I'm not saying you do food, but you know what I'm saying? There should be some kind of an identification for all the good things.
That's being done.
No,
that the
excellent.
system does.
Absolutely. We want to make sure that we hit everybody in our community the best we can. Anything else between either of those categories? I think we did a nice job.
Because we have to wrap it up. Work closely with parents. So right now, we have, again, our Parent Academy, which again is going to be ongoing. Next year, we're hoping to have 4 nights about Common Core again, park, other things that come up with parents about how your child's education impacts you at home and what you can do. We have it's called the DEAC committee, it's the District Evaluation Advisory Committee, that's to help with the new evaluation system. We have all of our HEPDO, PTOs, that we work with. We have ESL and basic skills meetings. We have a family math night that I think we do with you, is that something we do, or?
That's in Hudson,
Oh,
right?
that's at Hudson,
That's
that's
in
at Hudson, we're
Hudson.
looking to expand that.
Love family man.
And,
That was fun, actually, yeah, that was a fun program.
yeah, that's what we heard, we wanna expand it, and then we, thought that we could have, drop-in meetings with breakfast with the principal and or breakfast with the superintendent.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's a real good idea.
so.
And real quick,
I'm always up for breakfast.
not off topic, but I know that in committee meetings we discussed with the board on similar programs in which the board outreach is very informal, but the board outreaches to the community outside the school setting. You can it's a great way to know your board. Because I know part of it didn't really come from here, but there were a lot of complaints about it that the board is just unapproachable. And who do you talk to if you have an issue with the board? So that's something that we're addressing internally, board-wise, we're getting there.
Can we post all of the PTO events and meetings on the district calendar?
On the
that it's-
yeah,
So
that's
it's
easy.
more accessible for people?
Do you think that, well, we post it on Facebook and Twitter, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, if you give us a list,
You email me and I'll put it on.
she'll put it on, it's PR Friday, every Friday is PR Friday. And
Everyone
it
knows.
literally takes the whole day,
Yeah.
so.
Some people come to my desk on Friday, I'm like, it's PR Friday, if it's not for PR, you can't.
But, it's now a joke, PR Friday, it's a joke, right? It's, you know.
Everybody's productive, and I hope you enjoy this session. And I know we have a lot of great ideas. So the first committee is going to be the Academic and Technology Infusion Committee.
Okay, and we have two speakers, Ms. Suka, Mrs. and I didn't do your last name.
Amber Charleville.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we did goal one, improving for students going to colleges and careers. So we want to increase professional awareness, have students maybe be introduced to different jobs out there. They're coming in, you know, they're going into the career world and not really familiar with what an electronic engineer is, you know, or a variety of jobs. So we thought it'd be a nice idea to have people come in, maybe even college-themed nights, engineering schools, liberal arts schools, and the kids could pick and choose which nights they would like to go. We also thought about maybe having internships for the students so they could be familiar with the variety of jobs out there. And a career center, a place where the kids could drop in and pick up materials. Maybe guest speakers could come in to talk to the kids, again, so they'd be aware of what is going on out there in the career world, as well as with the college, you know, to know where they want to go, what they want to do, instead of getting to college and saying, now what? We were also did assure students are reading on or above grade level by grade 3. And one of the things that we felt was important was parent education, maybe working with the parents at home to let them know what's age appropriate, what to do, how to help them read, how to motivate them. And a couple things that didn't make the list because we were pressed for time is to offer maybe workshops to assist the parents, have teachers make recommendations for at-home reading, and also maybe, you know, offer incentives for the kids reading, you know, the contests, whatever, to encourage them to read. So that's what we pretty much covered in goal 1.
And the SAT scores.
Oh, the SAT scores, I was not involved in this group, but I'm more willing than willing to present it. All right, get a new company was one of the suggestions, not Princeton Review. I know that we are working with Princeton Review, maybe there are other offerings. Have truly online courses was one of the suggestions, again, so the students have the accessibility. After school tutoring for SAT, again, so students can participate in the SATs at their convenience, so the offerings are out there. And offer ACT prep in addition to SAT prep. And then with technology, allow student organizations to use Twitter, Facebook to promote events and activities, social networking for, you know, promotion, for networking, and for the good of education, for the good of the school. Okay?
Yeah. So my little group came up with 2 ideas for, actually 3 kind of, for after-school programming. We thought that homework clubs would be really helpful for the lower grades, like K through 5. And this isn't just necessarily for test prep, which is what is listed on the rubric that we have handed out. This would be just ongoing. And then that brought up the whole concept that homework with the Common Core may be very different from what we're used to. And so if there could be some tutorial links maybe on the teacher's website that tells the parents maybe to go see a YouTube video that shows them how to solve that problem that way, because it's out there. Parents in the little group decided that it's often hard to figure out which tutorial to watch, and so maybe if the teacher could direct you to that. And then basically just with the Common Core, because it is sometimes handling things so differently and kind of approaching problems differently, more support for the parents for the homework, which kind of goes in with this after-school homework club.
Thank you.
So now I'm going to ask Ms. Miller and School Climate and Culture to report out, please. Thank you. That was great, academic. Wonderful, great job.
That was a tough one, too. There's a lot in there.
Technology, great job, wonderful. Great ideas.
Goal number 2, it's on school climate and culture. The first area we talked about was to encourage students to become stakeholders in their education. And the ideas that we came up with were to encourage students to teach a class lesson We do actually have something similar to that in play, which is a shadow day, where students at our high school go and shadow a teacher that they like, and they go and observe their classes and kind of teach along with them. Have parent or community member come into the school to teach a lesson, and to encourage students to help teach younger students or assist with coaching. We did talk a little bit about, we do have students that go down to Hudson Maxim to help with some of our preschoolers at times, and things like that. With second category, it's generate positive participation with parents and community members. So we came up with a mini internship idea, which students go out to the community members' placement of work and to learn about various jobs. I kind of think that, a lot of our students, they don't even know a lot of the jobs that exist out there in the world. And a lot of them enjoy education because that's what they grew up with, and that's what, they see teachers, they know exactly what teachers do. But there's so many other job opportunities out there that we really need to start teaching and educating our students about, and hopefully veer them into other avenues of employment in their life. Awards banquets, these are some things we already have going on. Awards banquets, booster club activities that we have, this is supposed to be books and beyond that we do. We talked about podcasts and YouTube and recordings of different things and activities that we do, and trying to get more out there with what we're doing. So whether that's a recording of a night like tonight, and then putting that up on our website, having a YouTube link, so people could go, and even though they might not be able to get to a certain meeting, they can at least get caught up on the things that were talked about. We talked about an alumni academy for both college and career purposes. This past year, thank you Gina, we actually did a day where some of our college students came back that had graduated, and they focused on talking about colleges, I believe. So we kind of enhanced upon that idea and said, you know what, let's look at those 25, 26-year-olds that are out there in different jobs and have them come back and say, look, I graduated and I've got this degree, but with this degree, this is the type of job I was able to branch into. And enhancement of community outreach. We did talk about the necessity to make sure that we reach out to all of our community members. I think we're great with parents that are already linked into our school district, that you get the Alert Now message or Blackboard Connect messages and things like that. We do have the billboard on Lakeside Boulevard, and we try to get our information out there, but perhaps we need to enhance a little bit in some of our flyers, getting them out in different storefronts, getting billboards out there so people have a lot more awareness of what we offer in our schools and what we could offer possibly to our community in coming in.
These ideas are fabulous, and now we have Gina, who's going to, and I know that they were working on communication within the community also, and that appears to be kind of an overriding theme, so I think that, AJ, you've got a lot of work to do.
We had very similar to what Tammy's group had. It was talked about, we're trying to get a digital sign for the Lakeside Boulevard sign. It is costly, but we're trying to raise money. I've contacted some local businesses, but we're gonna keep plugging along to try to do that.
Make sure it's not as hard to read as the one that's out front. That one's hard to read.
Okay. It was also asked if we could use the town billboard, not sure by the Borough Hall. I'm not sure if I will call Bob Hafner's my contact there, I can ask him. Similar to what Tammy's group said, maybe post some posters about what we're doing in the local businesses to kind of promote all the great things we're doing. The newsletters that go home is a hard copy for the K-8, and it was asked that maybe we can have a digital backpack. Could the newsletters be online? Those that don't want it online, we would have a variety, 20 per school or whatever, to give them if they didn't want it online. What we're going to be doing, hopefully in the beginning of June, is to conduct from the New Jersey Department of Education is a climate and culture survey. And that is, we survey students, parents, residents, and teachers, or all staff, to ask their thoughts about the climate and culture of the school district and the town. So, include parents and staff, what was that?
The box is for the staff responsible for all the activities.
Yes, right. We wanted to include, to help us facilitate this, Mr. McCloskey said that we wanted to include parents to help us out. They do a lot of work and we want them to be part of our hands executing these things. It was talked about to include graduates that are second-year graduates and third-year graduates to bring back to talk to our seniors, because they might have different experiences, who transferred, who went to a 2-year school, then transferred to a 4-year school. So include some hand-picked kids to come back and talk, not just the previous graduates. Fundraisers, maybe tie the police department and the fire department into a fundraiser because they love competition, right? And can you see them in a basketball game competing with each other? That's a way to tie in and promote all the great things they do with the school. Parent safety night. All these lockdowns and drills are so prevalent today. Maybe parents aren't aware about what a child goes through, so let's have a parent mock lockdown drill evacuation night. It's a good idea. We know some parents have had questions about it. Might be something we want to do. Add additional nights next year for parents. That was just for our parent nights, right? My group? Is that,
Safety nights,
but
safety night,
safety night.
The additional for the park and the Common Core.
Oh, yeah, our Parent Academy nights. We're having a Parent Academy April 30th to talk about how the Common Core, the new state initiative, nationwide initiative, which is a new curriculum, how that impacts your child's education. We're going to continue that next year over 4 nights to include a lot of different things. So that's something we're increasing next year. Having people be able to come in and talk to the administration or Board of Ed members that, we're here and we're available and we should be able to meet with you. Board members becoming approachable, being available. Maybe they want to come and talk to you. We had talked about breakfast with the principal, breakfast with the superintendent. We can certainly include board members. So, right? You're up for that, right?
We like to eat.
Right? And what else? What was this? No, that's it. And I think that's it. Did I miss anything?
I think that's it.
PTO events. Oh, PTO asked if they could put their district events on the calendar. We said, why not? We tweet them out when you want. We can add that too. Okay? Okay.
Wonderful job reporting out. I think that what we're going to do is the same process that we have been implementing all along at our last 3 meetings, and that is to go back to add your suggestions to the document itself. This time, what I'm going to do is something a little bit different. Once everything is added in, I'm going to send it to you as a committee member. You're going to have an opportunity to just sit down and review it. And if there is any other thought, any other suggestion that we may not have covered tonight, that will be your opportunity to just reach on back to us. I'm going to ask Gina to be the communicator because her job this year, as you can see, and doing it very well, is district-wide communications. We want your ideas. And a lot of times when we sit in groups, we don't have the time, and then we walk out of the meeting and say, gee, I wish I had said that. So you're going to have the opportunity to reach back to us, and of course, we're going to add your suggestions in as well. What I would like to do is to convene a final meeting for a final review on April 23rd, and we're going to meet right back here in the library. We'll have the final document. We can make revisions if we want to. And then I would like to at least prepare it for presentation to the board, probably in either May or June meeting. And that will be the strategic plan that will guide us moving forward for the next few years. So this is really a very important document. And really what I want it to be is your document. You are our best communicators. You're in the community each and every day. We're in the school district, we're doing work, but you're outside. And what we want you to do is to share with everybody in the community that we do care, that we do want everybody involved, and that all we want to do is to make you and our community feel at home in our schools. And that's why we do our very best to keep our schools open as much as possible. We are going to be conducting, as we mentioned before, some after-school programs. We're going to have some summer school programs. The community schools belong to you. So your input is what is going to make our schools not better but great. So we're looking forward to that. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight, for sharing and for being part of the process. And we do have some certificates for you.
We have certificates for you, you
And
can
yes,
come
we
and
do.
pick them up.
We want you to pick them up and know that it goes with love and many things. So thank you for coming out this evening.